Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. Things are progressing on well as was planned. 7 days of rage, for we have courage. Today being Tuesday, 25th June, this was the plan of action. Occupy Parliament and total shutdown Kenya. A national strike. Gen Z are granting all hardworking Kenyans a day off. Parents, keep your children at home in solidarity. And looking at what is happening across the country, there is total shutdown in Kenya. All the way from Kisumu to Mombasa, Nairobi, Nakuru, across the country, Kenyans are out on the streets chanting RUTO must go. In fact, the narrative is now changing. It's no longer reject the finance bill because, after all, William Ruto and his MPs are passing that bill today in Parliament. So the narrative going forward is Ruto must go. And listening to Kenyans across the country, that's the new narrative. Ruto must go. In this video right now, I want to make some quick observations on what I've so far observed as to what is happening in the country. Before we dig deep into that, if you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Let's proceed. The first observation, if you look at what has been happening in Nairobi, William Ruto and his police officers are using force. In fact, they are not allowing Kenyans to access the CBD. Those who have accessed the CBD really fought so hard to make those accesses. Ruto is using force. The police officers in Nairobi are blocking Nairobians and the Gen Zs and other generations from accessing the CBD. Those who have accessed the CBD have really used a lot of force and efforts to access the CBD. So we must congratulate them for the effort they've used in accessing the CBD. But it's clear Ruto is using force. Secondly, that force will make these demonstrations turn chaotic. Kenyans all along have been very peaceful, but peace has got its limits. If we have a rogue government that is using force on innocent Kenyans who are just exercising their rights given by the Constitution, then that can lead to chaos, and it's already leading to chaos. So in the event of chaos breaking out in Kenya, William Ruto and these leaders supporting him are solely responsible for the chaos. And I just hope the international community is keenly watching what is happening in Kenya. But then again, why is the international community silent? Why is America silent? Why is Biden silent as William Ruto tramples on the rights of peaceful Kenyans? Ruto is using force. That force will lead into chaos. Something I've also observed across the country, Kenyans have come out in their millions to say Ruto must go. The narrative is now changing. It's no longer reject the finance bill, because the finance bill, listening to what is happening in Parliament, if you look on what is happening in Parliament, Ruto and his MPs are passing it. So the narrative is Ruto must go. That is the narrative going forward. And also looking at what is happening in Parliament, it's very clear that the 204 members of Parliament who passed that bill last week are hoping majority, if not all of them, are still supporting that bill. So it's very clear that they are not serving Kenyans, they are serving their own interests and the interest of one individual called RUTO. The only solution, therefore, is reject RUTO. RUTO must go, and he must go with the 204 MPs who are supporting him. And when I say that, I mean any person supporting Ruto's government, any leader supporting Ruto's government has to be rejected. I mean, all Kenya Kwanza MPs must be rejected. If this revolution has to succeed, then we must make some hard decisions. All Kenya Kwanza MPs must be rejected. They are the ones helping William Ruto in oppressing Kenyans. If this revolution has to be successful, Ruto must go, and he must go with all his MPs. That's also something Kenyans should and must know. And also, if you look at what is happening, it's no longer about the Gen Zs alone, but more Kenyans are joining in these demonstrations. And that's a good thing. We cannot leave this fight to only the Gen Zs. We must join the Gen Zs and we must support them. In whichever way you can, do your part. We are doing our parts in informing Kenyans on exactly what is happening. Others are doing their parts behind the scenes. Each and every Kenyan, irrespective of where you are, this is a golden opportunity, a God-given opportunity. We must all do our parts in making sure William Ruto is gone. And he must go with all the 204 MPs who are supporting him. The narrative going forward, Ruto must go. And also, if you observe what is happening, I just congratulate the kind of bravery being exhibited by the Gen Zs. It has been wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. And just looking on my screen, it's all running battles between Kenyans versus Ruto's rogue police officers. These police officers have gone rogue. Instead of serving Kenyans, instead of doing their work professionally, they have resorted into being William Ruto rogue police officers. That's also what is happening, looking at what is happening across the country. As I conclude, it's coming out very clearly that Ruto is getting everything wrong. He's not going to make it. If you look on how he's handling the protesters, the Gen Zs, then you are just seeing a lying president. Just about 2 days ago now, he was saying how the youths, how the demonstrations are encouraging. But this morning, what we are seeing coming from the police have turned rogue. So Ruto and his 204 MPs must be called out. They have gone rogue. And now the day is still progressing, and let me just remind you of what will happen tomorrow, Wednesday, 26th June. Justice Forex visit IPOA and the IG of police demanding justice Forex. That's the course of action tomorrow. Let me congratulate all Kenyans who are doing their parts on the ground, online, everywhere. This is a collective responsibility. Thanks to all brave Kenyans who are doing their parts. And let me also implore upon all Kenyans to unfollow all Kenya Kwanza bloggers, unfollow all Kenya Kwanza leaders, MPs, Ruto himself, and their bloggers. Let them feel the pain from Kenyans. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you. God bless you.